I do see a lot more people leaving corporate jobs because they've gotten a taste of what it's like to work from home, and they've gotten a taste of what it's like to work on their own schedules.
Benefits?
They don't want to be making $12 an hour while their CEO of their company is making $12 million a year.
And pay.
We're going to live and work differently than we ever have before.
Samantha Bailey of Finette says when the pandemic started, things at her previous job as a local pharmacist became overwhelming.
You know, there would be days that I'd come home crying. There was no supportive management. We were still expected to meet the same metrics and the same customer service guidelines, and you know, the customer's always right. They weren't actually working in our shoes, and they had no idea what we were going through on a daily basis.
So Bailey quit her 9-to-5 job and took a leap of faith to become owner of Sam's Sassy Pups in Finette.
Once we went into the pandemic, they realized, hey, wait a minute, I can work from my house. I can bring my child to school. If I have better balance by being home and being productive, working, but also having a life.
Talon Trust CEO Kathleen Quinn Votaw is a recruiting expert, and she says workers now know more than ever that they have choices. One of the choices being made is not going back to work at all. In fact, in September, 704,000 Texans remain unemployed, according to the Texas Workforce Commission. The reasons aren't what you might think.
That people are afraid to go to work, afraid they're going to get the COVID. I think that has a lot to do with it. You know, who's had their vaccine, who hasn't had their...
Beaumont counselor and therapist Donna Rosado says she's seen an uptick in clients struggling with employment, and companies can help.
Perhaps break up your workforce and offer that flexibility to them so they can do more and be more independent. That's what the American worker wants right now. They want independence, flexibility, and they want their leaders to be empathetic to their point of view.
Quinn Votaw says that a thriving work environment and empathy from management is top of mind for job seekers. Without it, Rosado says it can be difficult for workers to manage work and life.
A lot of times what happens when people go back to work, they become stressed. They're stressed from the pandemic. You know, they've had death in their family. You know, they've been isolated. They've been at home. They're starting to have depression.
Bailey ended up closing shop from low demand earlier this month. She says even with business challenges, she wouldn't change her experience and the support from family and community for the world.
And I will forever cherish this experience, and it might follow me later on down the road.
For now, Quinn Votaw says the key for employers to fulfill employee needs is to be open to change in the workplace.
Once we open up the lines of communication, realize we're building communities versus companies, and build great relationships based on kindness and trust and empathy, then we're all going to succeed and it's going to get better.
Kara Willis, 12 News.